Water crises due to climate change are more severe than previously thought. Scientists claim. This is by Vienna University of Technology on phys.org. Climate change alters the global atmospheric circulation, which in turn alters precipitation and evaporation in large parts of the world, and in consequence the amount of river water that can be used locally. So far, projections of climate impact on stream flow have usually been calculated on the basis of physical models. For example, the projections reported by IPCC, that's Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. However, new data analysis conducted under the leadership of Professor Günter Blosch, TU Vienna, indicate that previous models systematically underestimate how sensitive water availability reacts to certain changing climate parameters. An analysis of measurements data from over 9,500 hydrological catchments from all over the world show that climate change can lead to local water crises to an even greater extent than previously expected. The results have now been published in the journal Nature Water. Model approach and measured data approach. In the climatology community, the effects of climate change on the atmosphere are very well understood. However, their local consequences on rivers and the availability of water falls into the field of hydrology, explains Professor Günter Blosch from the Institute of Hydraulic Engineering and Water Resources Management at TU Vienna. Locally, it's often possible to explain very well how water availability is related to external parameters such as precipitation or temperature. This is being studied at many measuring stations around the world, in particular in Blosch's hydrology laboratory in Pelzenkirchen, where numerous sensors have been installed over an area of 60 hectares. But global conclusions cannot be drawn from such individual observations. Günter Blosch says how the water balance depends on external parameters varies from place to place. Local vegetation also plays a very important role here. It's difficult to develop a simple physical model that can be used to calculate these interrelationships at all places in the world with precision. Günter Blosch therefore has collaborated with colleagues from China, Australia, the US, and Saudi Arabia to build up and analyze the large database of stream flow observations from all over the world. Over 9,500 catchments were included, with time series extended several decades into the past. The water system reacts to climate change more sensitively than thought. So he says, so we don't base our analysis on physical models, but on actual measurements, Günter Blosch says. We look at how much the water of available water changed in the past when external conditions changed, and this way we can find out how sensitivity changes in climate parameters are related to change in local water availability, and this allows us to make predictions for a future warmer climate. And it turned out that the connection between precipitation and the amount of water in the rivers is much more sensitive than was previously thought, and thus much more sensitive than is assumed in the models currently used to predict climate change. Forecasting models of the effects of climate change on water supply should therefore be fundamentally revised. Up to now, runoff measurements have usually not been included at all in the models, such as those currently reported by the IPCC, says Günter Blosch, and with a series of measurements now available, it should now be possible to adjust the physical prediction models accordingly. In any case, the results of the research team around Günter Blosch show that the danger of climate change on the water supply in many parts of the world may have been underestimated so far, especially in Africa, Australia, and North America. The new data predicts a significantly higher risk of water supply crisis by the year 2050 than previously assumed. This is by Vienna University of Technology on phys.org. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box